Hello, in this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to create a full stack application, and you're going to use Node.js for this application. Okay, so now without wasting any time, we are going to start with the backend and then create the front end. We're going to use React.js, and then we are also going to create a mobile application. Okay, so I'm going to take you through every step I go through, and if you find that I'm too fast or you don't understand some of the things that I'm saying, just hang on and do research. If you do research, you're going to understand what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to open my terminal. I'm on Linux. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my desktop, and then inside my desktop I'm going to create a folder called backend. Okay, and you see that folder has appeared over here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that folder by cd into backend. Okay, then I'm going to initialize a git repository. I'm going to do git init. Okay, so it's saying that initialized an empty git repository in that folder. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to initiate a npm project. I'm going to start npm. So I'm going to do npm init -y. What happens is that this is going to give the default answers to all the questions npm asks while setting up the project. When I press enter, you're going to see that it wrote a file called package.json, and these are the contents of that file. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be using Express.js as the server. For the server, to create the server, this is our npm package. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Express. Okay, inside that application, inside I'm going to install npm. I'm going to add npm package inside my backend folder. So once that is complete, we are going to now start building the server. Okay, so just give it some time. Now while that is going on, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code as my code editor, my text editor. If you have another one, you can feel free to use it. Okay, so Express has been installed. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a git ignore file. Now git ignore is a file that allows us to tell Git which files or folders to ignore. So now if I do ls, I'm going to see the packages, the folders of the files that are there. If I do ls-a, I'm going to see all the files that are inside that backend folder. Okay, now what we want to do normally is we want to ignore the node modules folder, because the packages that are installed in that node modules folder are described inside package.json. Okay, so this package.json file holds the name of all packages that we have installed for this project. So if I cut package.json, so if I cut package.json, you see it's telling me that we have a dependency called Express. So now if someone were to get hold of this project from GitHub, they can easily install Express by running npm install. Okay, so we don't need, we are supposed to leave out the node modules folder. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use nano, which is a text editor that runs in terminal, and then I'm going to pass git ignore. Now this is going to open nano, and now I can like pass in the node underscore modules folder here. Okay, and then to save, I'm going to Control O, which is overwrite. Then I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to press Control X to exit out of that. Okay, so now if I cut dot git ignore, you're going to see it contains node modules inside it. Okay, we're going to be making a lot of changes to our code, and because this is server code, we want to be able to restart the server automatically so that we don't have to do it manually, as it takes a lot of time. To do that, we're going to need another package called nodemon. Okay, so I'm going to install nodemon, but I'm not going to install it as a dependency. I'm going to add the -d flag, which is going to install it as a development dependency. Okay, which means that we're just going to use this package during development, but not in production. Okay, just to help us to restart the server automatically when we make a change. So when I press enter, it's going to install nodemon. And then so also nodemon is a small package, so it's going to install pretty quickly. Okay, now if I cut package.json, you'll see that we have dependencies, we have Express, dev dependencies, we have nodemon. Okay, now our server file is going to be called server.js. Okay, so I'm going to create a file called server.js. Okay, now if I list the things that are inside the folder, you're going to see we're also going to have server.js. So now I'm going to open everything now in Visual Studio Code by typing code, passing the current folder. Then once it opens Visual Studio Code, because it has its own integrated terminal, I'm going to ask this terminal to exit. Okay, when I do that, it's going to open VS Code in our folder inside VS Code. Okay, awesome. So now this is our folder. Now in server.js, which is going to contain our server code, I'm going to import Express and initialize an Express application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say going to import Express by requiring Express, and then I'm going to create an app by invoking Express, and then we're going to tell the app to listen at port, let's say 3000, and then when the server is running, we want it to log to the console that it's listening on port 3000. Okay, we can also add press Ctrl C to terminate. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to create two middle pieces of middleware. One will be to handle pages that are not found or resources that are not found, and the other one will be for internal server error. So the first thing I'm going to do is call up, and then to create a middleware we use the word use. So it's going to take in a function, and then you're going to pass request response object, and next. Then we're going to define the body of that function, and then we're going to say that if a resource is not found, send back an object with the key of message and a value of not found, and then set the status to 404. Okay, now we're going now to create for 500. So app.use, once more we're going to pass in a function. Now this time it's going to take in 4 arguments. So it's error, then request, then response, then next. Okay, and then we're going to define the body of that function. We're going to say that when we get an internal server error, we're going to send a message, okay, with an object of message and a value of internal server error. Okay, and the status is going to be 500. Okay, and then to help us debug what the problem could be, we can also send a message to the console. So console.error, and then you're going to take that error object, this one here, and then pass the start value there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is go back to package.json file, and we have to add another script here. We want to add a development script, which basically means that if we are running in development environment, we are going to call nodemon, which we installed, and then you're going to pass server.js. Okay, that is going to allow nodemon to restart our server whenever there is a change. Now I'm going to open the terminal down here. I'm going to hover down here and then just pull it up, and then I'm going to say npm run dev. Why dev? Because dev is this script that we passed here. Okay, now when I do that, it's going to say that there's an error. So it's supposed to run, but it's saying that there's an error, and it's saying that the address is in use. Now it's good that this has come up right now, because I'm going to show you how to deal with this problem. So it means that there's another application running on port 3000, but for what I know is that I don't have any other application running on this port, so it's probably an issue with the Node.js. So what I'm going to do, split the terminal, and then I'm going to do kill all node. So I'm going to kill all node processes running. Okay, when I do that, it returns no message, which means it was successful. And now if I try to run the server again, now it runs and says listening on port 3000. And if I try to get a resource, because right now we don't have any paths, we don't have like / about / anything. Okay, we have not defined that yet, so it should return the 44 message, the 44 error. Okay, so I'm going to do a call on localhost port 3000. When I press enter, it says not found. So this object was returned from the server, so that means things are working, and here we have no errors. Okay, and now every time I press save here, nodemon is going to restart the server. See, it's restarting the server whenever I save the file. So this is a good point to stop, and then in the next episode we are going to now to start defining our route parameters. Okay, we're going to define our API endpoints. Okay, so before we go, let us commit whatever we have done. So we're going to say git add all, then we're going to git commit with a message, and then you're going to say setup Express server. Okay, so now our changes have been saved. I mean, we have committed what we have done so far. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the recording at this point, and then in the next one we are going to build on what we have done so far. Okay, thank you very much.